Hi, I'm Madison Burt, and today I have the privilege of introducing Peyton Gallik. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of Peyton is supernatural. How does one manage to be a great student, pro photographer, and overall a great friend while remaining human at the same time? Well, Peyton, how do you? I'll answer that for you. Being kind and compassionate comes naturally to Peyton. I can always trust Peyton for reassurance before a big test, a smile down the hallway, or an answer to a question. Peyton's closest friends note her as funny, caring, and determined. Peyton is truly an authentic person, and our class would not be the same without her. Now, I'm sure she has some great things to say, so give it up for Peyton Nicole Gallik.
A few weeks ago, I had a conversation with Erica Ross following our Meaning of Life class. For those that don't know, every D-Day we sit in a circle and everyone reads aloud their work from the day before based on a prompt. People can share stories from their personal lives or it can pertain to bigger problems in the world. When discussing stories we heard that day, Erica pointed out that many of us have gone to school together our entire lives, yet we only know the things we choose to tell each other. I thought about this for the rest of the day as I realized that many of my peers don't know much about me, as they have described me as soft-spoken and shy. I have never wanted to be the center of attention or tell personal stories to anyone. However, for my senior speech, I decided to share some of my most memorable moments throughout my 17 years of life so that everyone here can get to know me better. When I was 1.5 years old, my mom, sister, and I were in the checkout line at Walmart. While my mom was putting items on the conveyor belt, I turned around from the child's seat and grabbed the egg carton. As you can probably already imagine, this did not end well. My mom turned around to find me with an empty egg carton in hand, as I had thrown the eggs all over the ice machine and the floor. My mom was filled with embarrassment as she apologized to the workers for my actions. I don't particularly remember this instance, but it has come back to haunt me at every family function. Although I do think this moment was more embarrassing for my mom, reflecting upon my actions has led me to realize that I also embarrassed myself that day. Another one of my embarrassing moments happened during summer of 2020. My friend invited me to Gulf Shores with her family because her dad had a work conference there. Upon getting the details of the trip, I discovered that our hotel had 28 miles of biking trails. Fear came over me as I, a 15-year-old at the time, simply could not ride a bike. I convinced my parents to get me a bike 4 days before we left because I refused to let my failure to ride a bike ruin their trip. I quickly learned how to ride my new bike and practiced in the church parking lot behind my house until the night before we had to leave. Her family decided on the last day of our trip to go on a bike ride. I placed myself at the back of the group to avoid drawing anyone's attention, however my plan quickly failed. We started going down a small hill when everyone decided to stop at the bottom to read the trail maps. I began to pull back on the handbrakes while everyone else was at almost a complete stop at the bottom. I quickly realized that my brakes were in fact not working as I was making a beeline towards my friend's mom. I let out a frantic scream as her mom tried to pull me off the bike before I completely wiped out the trail map sign and her. As this happened, the bike handle hit me directly between the ribs, and I went flying across the pavement before skidding across the gravel rocks into the grass. I awkwardly got up as her mom said, "Peyton, are you okay?" To which I quickly responded with, "Yeah, why wouldn't I be?" while wiping off the dirt from my clothes and getting the leaves out of my hair. This accident resulted in bruised ribs and many cuts and bruises covering my entire body. And no, I still haven't addressed the accident with her family to this day. My most memorable moment, though, happened last year when we received our invitations to participate in Memphis Junior Cotillion. We got the invitations a few months before we were able to ask our escort, so I had lots of time to brainstorm potential options of who I would ask. A couple weeks before the forms were due, I decided to ask my family friend of many years to be my escort. I typed up an entire paragraph explaining what exactly the event was and asked if he would be willing to go. Within a couple minutes, I had received a response, except for the fact that it was not what I was expecting. The response read, "Would love to, but I'm going to St. John's Virgin Islands that week for my 60th birthday. Sorry, I can't make it." Upon reading this, I immediately thought it was a joke. I asked my dad if he gave me the right number, to which we quickly realized that I did in fact text a 60-year-old man who owns a car dealership in Senatobia, Mississippi, to be my escort instead of the 17-year-old family friend. Now, many of you might be wondering why I'm making such a big deal out of these funny moments. Until now, I never thought I would share these stories with anyone other than my family, as drawing attention to myself and admitting my mistakes has never been something I enjoy. Through this, I have learned that I need to be more forgiving of myself because everyone has at least one memorable story they don't want to share, so I encourage all of you to go out and share your embarrassing stories because I promise you'll make someone laugh. Thank you.